Hi, I'm Natasha Millazzo and this is Turning the Verge, and welcome to another episode. Today I'm here with the very wonderful and talented Shawn Strider. Welcome, Shawn. How has your day been today?
So far, very busy, very good.
Very busy? What do you mean by very busy?
Well, right now in production, we start our days...
Production?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
The Labrynth Masquerade ball.
Wow.
It's one of the largest masquerades in North America. It's a very elaborate production, composes a lot of different artists, a lot of different disciplines.
Okay, where the hell did you get the idea to start something of the sort?
Initially, because I had never been to a masquerade before, I was heavily influenced by several different artists like Jim Henson.
Okay, so what possessed you to create a show called Labrynth the Masquerade?
Well, I started the masquerade mainly to cheer myself up.
Cheer yourself up?
Yeah, I was a comic publisher in San Diego, and we had one very dark winter. And when me and my friends used to hang around.
Okay, what's a dark winter
for a comic publisher?
Yeah.
Dark winter is going on tour for a little bit, selling a lot of books, and then everyone sort of has this break between conventions somewhere between September and January when there's not a lot to do. You're supposed to go into your hole and write the material for the next spring.
Okay.
And I had a lot of artists that were working for me at the time, and we were all really, really young. And
how young is young?
18.
18?
At this point. Yeah.
Wow, so you started very young.
Very young, very young. And we just started drifting, as people do. And I wanted to create something that was artistic and would sort of bring everyone back together. And so I started this masquerade. We were expecting 50 people and just have fun. We ended up getting about 150 that first time. And we had a great
the crew,
time.
There's 150 people in the crew?
No, just people attending and friends and whatnot.
Awesome, and you have a great group of people around you.
Fantastic.
So mention a bit about those people.
Well, we have, in order to make the show now what it is today, we've been doing this for 13 years. We have amazing costume designers. We have an amazing director, Natasha, who has been for 4 years over at the Savannah Arts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Savannah
fantastic. So you've got some awesome professionals working with you.
Prop builders, everything.
Great. And what are some of those credits? What, like the people that are working with you, what are their credits?
Sure. Let's see here. It's a very diverse show. So we have everything from armor, like Tony Swatton from Sword in the Stone. He is known for doing the sword from Zorro, all the swords from Pirates of the Caribbean.
So you're not working with the little people that are professional. You're working with the big people that have done some big things.
Most of us are in the industry. Most of us are people that are into the industry, and we do special effects, and we do the horrible kind of movies that nobody wants to go see, but they pay the bills. Yeah. And most of the things that we do, the detail-oriented stuff, gets replaced with CGI.
Okay.
So most of us come together. We don't get paid to do the show. We do it for fun. It's a 2-night event that takes 8 months of planning to put all together.
8 months of planning for a 2-night event.
Yeah. Well, we like to make things real. We like to make things that when you step into our world, you're stepping into another world. There are water fountains made of iron and stone and steel and plaster, and just it's different. We transform spaces.
So you transform spaces. What is the show about? Could you tell me the journey of perhaps the main protagonist?
Sure. It's a linear storyline. Each year the story changes a little bit. For the attendees, they may notice the story, they may not, but for us it's what drives all of the art that's going on that year, all of the main principal props and all the characters and things that are going on stage. Most of what we do is in pantomime. So we have composers making music, there's amazing dance ensembles, live musicians, and they're all going with the story of that particular year.
And what's the theme for this year?
We're going to war against the Court of Night.
Wow, okay, explain a bit about that.
Well, if you've heard Mozart's Queen of the Night aria, where the Queen of the Night is talking about getting vengeance for her daughter. One of the lines in this opera is, God's a vengeance, hear a mother's curse.
Can you do that the way the actors
You can, absolutely. This was something that we had as part of the storyline last year, and we're expanding on it, that she has unleashed this clockwork creature into our world, and we have gates that open only once a year, for this one special time, and then the gates close.
Oh, wow.
And this creature has been armoring itself against us with one mission and one mission only: kidnap the guy that offended her, which happens to be one of my knights, and get home. And it's been waiting a year to sort of snatch and run.
Yeah.
And it snatches. She sends me a little message that says, okay.
So you're in the show?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Theoretically, I am the leader of the court that we call Cypher. Yes. And so she sends a little message to the leader and says, go ahead and let my guy pass through the gates. Don't molest him. We're even now.
Don't molest him.
Yeah, don't do anything bad.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Safe passage, as it were. And essentially, I decided to give her a very unpolite answer with cannons and fire and all kinds of fun stuff. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
This sounds so interesting. Don't give away too much because I want the audience to come and see the show. So if you could tell them when the dates are and what, how much it costs to come to this event.
Well, it's July 16th and 17th. All the information's online at labrynthmasquerade.com.
Awesome.
And there you can see some of the artwork that we make, some of the little glimpses into the story, and some of the pieces that we built, and the costumes from previous years.
Okay. Did you have a dream of doing stuff like this when you were a kid?
I've always been a writer at the core of it, and all this starts with the stories. Sometime last August, I started coming up with the stories for this year, and I've already started the stories for next year.
Have you ever elaborated on a story that you created when you were in your childhood?
Oh, well, quite a few, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me a bit more about that?
There was one that I started when I was really young called Dragon's Edge. We ended up turning it into a small graphic novel for a couple of years running. It's
Graphic
about it was about two assassins that worked for the number 2 guy.
Well, I've been reading the Twilight graphic novel at the moment.
Okay.
Have you read that?
I tried to get through the first chapter and it didn't work so well.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So is it something like that you created?
No, it's a little more cyberpunk.
Okay.
Which is what that was, and with the stories that we have going on in LOJ, it's very much. It's like a cross between Lord of the Rings and...
Are you the artist for those comics too?
No, there were other artists involved. I was strictly the writer and the graphic designer on them. So
That's
do all the layout
fantastic.
and everything. Yeah.
So talented.
Yeah,
Wow. Is there anything else you do